Looksmaxxing is basically the process of trying to alter or like optimize your looks through a series of routines, surgeries, procedures, this sort of stuff. Basically doing everything in your power to make yourself look as much like handsome Squidward as humanly possible. The current king of the Looksmaxxing community is this dude named Clavicular. He's a 19-year-old who, you guessed it, looks a lot like handsome Squidward. And on top of that, he is quite possibly the most insecure man on the face of the earth at the moment. I guess to his credit, he has made Looksmaxxing like mainstream, but that's not a good thing because on top of this community being insanely cringe, it is doing like deep damage to the psyches of like kids who are watching this type of content. Because like this dude is 19, a lot of the people are in their late teens, early 20s, and then I have to assume the people watching this are even younger because like I don't think any fully formed adult, I hope no fully formed adult is like watching this stuff and getting caught up in this. But you know, still, even kids, it's even worse because they're more impressionable at that time. Like this obsession with never being secure in the way you look and always striving for this unobtainable standard of beauty, all it's gonna do is make kids like even more lonely and depressed than they already are. The entire goal of Looksmaxxing is to mog someone. Mogging is basically like shining on the next man. Like let's say for instance, me and you are in a picture. If everyone is noticing how much better I look than you in the picture, then that means I mogged you. Yes, this entire movement is based on something that stupid.
So that's like the goal in life, right? It's just, I don't really give a shit about getting girls. I just want to mog. If you guys mogging? It means basically like looking better than someone. Like, so you want to mog like people.
Honestly, like watching this stuff and like going through this content to try and get an idea for this video it just made me sad. Like watching the insecurity that is just oozing out of these young men, it just made me feel bad for everyone involved. Cause like that's all it is. It's just insecurity. And it makes sense, right? Like it's a bunch of teenagers. They're young guys. So everyone at this time, like your body's changing. It's the first time you're starting to like think about relationships and sex and that sort of stuff. It's a tumultuous time in your life and everyone goes through it. But there are some people who don't know how to like cope with the insecurities that they're feeling and they turn to Looksmaxxing, which I'm here to tell you right now is not the answer. Mostly because looks aren't like the end all be all, right? Like your physical traits are just part of what makes you who you are. And honestly, you could make a case that they're the least important parts. But unfortunately for these Looksmaxxer dudes, they never really realize that. So it's just a bunch of like terrible, awful, shallow, insecure people who know how to take care of themselves and get jacked. So they just like look all right, sure, but still no one wants to be around you if you're just a bad person. Like everyone has insecurities, right? Some of them never really go away, but it's how you cope with those insecurities that like determines the type of person that you are. So like if you are feeling insecurities, you can choose to work on yourself through like self-improvement, going out, practicing and developing social skills, going to the gym, like grooming, hygiene, all these things. Or you can just decide to hit yourself in the face with a hammer until you permanently alter your bone structure.
And bone smashing was another one that...
Yeah, this one is, I find it so funny.
So we're just with Todd Duffy the other day talking about bone smashing. And he was telling us like, yeah, absolutely. His face has masculinized quite a bit from just like the sheer amount of trauma and microfractures. And this is according to a principle called Wolff's Law, right? When you break down a bone, it's going to grow back stronger. So you're just localizing it and, you know, being a little bit more precise rather than just joining the MMA and getting punched randomly. You see all these guys' brow ridges, they're, you know, insane. So this is just a more like meticulous method.
Like Clavicular is a prime example of the type of guy who's like, you can change your looks. He did have a glow up. Part of that could be the fact that he went from like 15 to 19 and he's just like going through puberty and, you know, normally this would have happened anyways. But it's obvious he never really took the time to work on the underlying insecurities that were there. So now he's just a jack dude who knows how to take care of himself, but he's still like deeply insecure about who he is and he's not sure of himself. Because like no man who is comfortable in the person that he is and the way he looks is going to go through the work of like wearing makeup every day, having plastic surgeries, doing steroids, like all this stuff just to achieve a look to impress other people. Oh yeah, and he also does meth for some reason.
Yeah. Wait, is it true you do meth? Somebody told me you do meth too.
I do, yes. So I do math to, you know, basically suppress my appetite and try to get leaner.
A lot of Looksmaxxers are obsessed with height for some reason, which is like, I'm just going to be honest, height is the most useless attribute. There's nothing really outside of like, if you want to dunk a basketball, then yeah, being taller is a plus. But outside of that, there's not really much like that is given you. Like, I am a little bit over 6 foot, which sure is a good height, but outside of like a football coach or something like that, I've never had anyone care about how tall I was. I just don't understand why so many people are obsessed with height. Like, the only time being tall, and I'm not even that tall, comes in handy is like if my mom needs something off the top shelf and then she has to call me downstairs to get it. And then outside of that, there's pretty much nothing. Also, Clavicular is apparently 6'2", which is already pretty tall. So I don't know why he would be interested in doing leg lengthening surgery, except for the fact that he's like deeply insecure about everything and is obsessed with how he's perceived by other people. Like, for him, being taller than most people isn't good enough. He wants to be like the tallest person in every room he walks in. And then when he goes in and he stands up and everyone sees how tall he is, everyone will just get up and clap because he has the longest legs in the room, which matter for some reason. And don't get me wrong, I understand why people care about height. Like, due to societal standards, there are a lot of women out there who want a taller partner, which is understandable. But there has really never been a time in my life, I can only speak for my experiences, where a girl even my height or taller was like, "Ew, get away from me, shrimp." Like, that just doesn't happen. Because in reality, women just aren't as judgmental about things like that. They don't care as much. And this is a little secret that I let all my homies in on. Women settle like a lot. And that's not a pass for dudes to be like repugnant slobs. It's just something to remember that like girls aren't looking for some guy who is perfect in every way already the second they meet them, because the average guy is like already so low on the totem pole that by just doing things like getting a haircut, having a shave, brushing your teeth, like showering regularly, you're already like top of the cream of the crop, dude. Like, you're good already. So worrying about being like 6'3" or something like that is useless because it doesn't actually mean anything. Another way you know these Looksmaxxers dudes are just deeply insecure is the way they talk about other people. Of course, this dork went on Fresh and Fit. The first thing dweeb does when they get a little clout on the internet is run to Tweedledee and Tweedledum over at the Fresh and Fit podcast, and it was about as corny as you'd imagine.
She got 3.5. Why and how can she improve?
Well, her mid face is way too long. Obviously, she's got the jowls coming in, horrible nasolabial folds, horrible total facial width to height ratio, just really bad age indicators. But obviously, at 30, that's not something really that's going to surprise me. Her upper maxilla is super recessed, horrible infraorbitals. That's why your under eyes are coming in like hell. Really recessed chin. All the facial convexities are wrong. Her radix is recessed. Moving on. Okay, well, how much time do we have on the podcast?
No, it's okay.
Every generation has their version of the guy whose sole purpose in life is to make sure that the next generation of young men is as big a misogynist as humanly possible. Like the 2000s, they had pickup artists. The 2010s, we had like alpha male red pill dudes. And now like the 2020s, they have Looksmaxxers. Just like 3 straight decades of dudes who would rather bash women instead of going to therapy. Again, because Clav is a dork who grew up following on the internet, he first went to Fresh and Fit and then started streaming on Kick.com. Along with the likes of Neon, Cuffham, and Aiden Ross, Clavicular makes up the Mount Rushmore of AIDS content on the internet. Like, Kick streamers have to have the opposite of a morality clause in their contracts. Like, they have an immorality clause where you have to be either a racist, a pedo, or like do some type of violent crime in order to get a bag. Or in Clavicular's case, you can just do all 3. A key staple for these like edgy white guy streamers who are obsessed with saying the N-word is like the one black guy that they keep around that gives them the pass or whatever. Enter Cuffham the Coon, whose like entire freaking online persona is just being that guy for whoever wants it. Like, genuinely, the only time I see this dude pop up on my timeline at this point is just when he's around when a white guy says the N-word. Like, his whole digital footprint is just having the N-word said to or around him.
So if you think that the TTS being on is going to allow you to make me say fucking retarded shit, then you're out of your goddamn mind.
$3.
Yeah.
Yo, Clavier G, keep it up.
Thanks, nigga. Appreciate it. So,
not only is Clavicular a white guy who loves to say the N-word, he is also a 19-year-old who is dating a 17-year-old that he apparently possibly met when she was 16 years old. Not great.
So guys, if you're a normie here, this is a fat dissolver. This is a lipolysis agent, injectable lipolysis is what we're doing.
So yeah, again, that was Clavicular, who is 19 years old, shooting fat dissolvers into his 17-year-old girlfriend's face on camera. That just gives you an idea of what's going on over there on Kick. Running out the trifecta, Clavicular most recently This is how I sort of found out about him, how he came onto my radar. Damn near committed vehicular manslaughter on a dude who, fair enough, is apparently a stalker and was being very annoying. He was being a kick streamer, but I don't think that gives you the right to like run someone over with your car.
Oh my god! You probably just ran him over. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Is he dead?
I don't know.
Hopefully.
Honestly, after watching that clip and even knowing everything I have learned about this guy while I was researching for this video, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that the worst thing he has ever done is own a Cybertruck. Clavicular. Can I just say that's a dumb name? Like Clavicular, if you want to be the king of the Looksmaxxers and you want to, you know, like be the guy, I don't know what the significance of the name is, so maybe it has some deep meaning for him. I don't really care. It's just a dumb name. It sounds stupid. It doesn't roll off the tongue. If you're going to be like this cool Chad Alpha guy, you have to have a cool name, okay? I don't know what that name should be. Obviously, I'm not that guy, but I know it ain't Clavicular. Just because this guy might be going away for vehicular manslaughter doesn't mean like this Looksmaxxing shit is going anywhere. Like we're really just speed running new insecurities for kids to have just by opening up their phone and being on the internet. And the worst part about it is none of the stuff they're talking about matters in the slightest. Like sure, if you want to look better, feel better, want to go to the gym, better yourself, by all means do that. But like hitting yourself in the face with a hammer so you get, I'm not even really sure what the hammering does, but like changing your bone structure, your jawline, whatever, like getting plastic surgery, doing steroids, none of that stuff is healthy or going to help you feel better about the way you look. And definitely not meth. Like meth is definitely not going to help you feel better. I feel like meth is definitely going to make you feel worse about everything, including the way you look. I'm telling you right now, do not do meth. Like really all you can do is just be happy with who you are. Like focus on being a nice person who's kind, genuine, fun to be around. Like doing that will make you a lot happier than like hopping on a cycle or getting leg lengthening surgery, because then you'll just be someone who's 6'3" and jacked and still feels bad about yourself because you never actually did the work to like self-improve. Like all I'm saying is just take it from someone who knows, okay? You can be an uggo, you can be a disgusting slob and still have a pretty okay life. Like it's not all bad, you just have to focus on being a good person. I'm not saying looks don't matter at all, but it doesn't matter as much as these dudes want you to believe, especially like the micro insecurities that they're trying to force feed you. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I've got on the topic. 2026, I'm back. I'm gonna start making videos again. I'm streaming on Twitch and YouTube. Pop in and say hi. I really do appreciate it. You know, TikTok, IG, Twitter, everything, Discord, links down in the description. Tap those, run those up. It's gonna be a big year for us, man. 2026. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will see y'all next time.